Convention Center. Prayagraj Facilitation Center or Craft Museum.
And also our presence of Honorable Mr. Rathore, Ladies and gentlemen, I have request the Spanish Republic please open the session. I'm going to request you all to please settle down, take your seats. Please everyone, to my right. There are lots of seats vacant in the house. All of you back.
Good morning once again. We are about to begin this session. This session is titled as Engagement with Younger Members of Indian Diaspora. We have with us Honorable Minister, General Dr. V.K. Singh, to chair this meeting. We also have the co-chair, Shri Rajvardhan Singh Rathore, MOS Youth Affairs and Sports. The sequence of this session and the subsequent sessions would be like this. We'll first request the chair, co-chair, to make short remarks. Thereafter, we'll have a presentation of the summary and recommendations of a conference, Pravasi Bhartiya Divas conference, that was held on the very theme during 2017-18. And thereafter, the floor will be open, question and answer. Our panelists will pitch in to respond to the questions that will be raised or doubts that need to be clarified. So with this, I request Honorable Minister of State, Youth Affairs and Sports to make some opening remarks. Thank you, sir.
General V.K. Singh, the panelists who are here, the large number of guests who are present in front of us, travel long distances to come here, especially the youth who are here. First of all, my gratitude and thanks for putting this structure together where the panelists and we will try and attempt to answer the questions that you have. And I do hope that you have a lot of questions because youth, irrespective of where they are, whichever country they are, youth are youth. And we have our own issues. I mean, I'm sorry, yes, I'm saying we. I don't know whether you allow me to be part of youth, but youth have their own issues. They're pretty much similar. You know, many years ago, I wasn't very young when I first traveled abroad. I wasn't very young. I'd already done about maybe 6-7 years of military service. I was somewhere about 28, 29 when I first traveled abroad. And as a soldier, I'd stayed on the border, of course, under General V.K. Singh then, to guard the borders. And looking beyond the border, everything used to seem very foreign to us. And we were not very trustworthy of anything which was across the border. But things changed. And as I started traveling abroad, I realized everything is the same. Yeah, everything is the same abroad. The smiles, the laugh, the pains, the pleasure, the family values, everything is similar. Jokes, everything is similar. So life has become very enriched after moving around the world as a sports person, and therefore together when we come here with a large number of youth, I hope that's not being done on purpose, right? So I'll tell you a joke. So I was traveling with my Italian friends and I was training in Italy for a long time, and this was my early days. And there was this, you love the song irrespective of whether you understand or not. In any case, most of the English movies I don't understand. So, but you love the concept. So the music was playing and the music was very nice. And we were putting it on repeat and I said, the words were Arivala Boomba. So it's a very nice Italian song, the Arivala Boomba. So I said, all right, I'm enjoying the music, but what does it mean? So he says, my Italian friend said, the bomb is arriving. So, yeah, somewhat like this. He said, the bomb is arriving. I said, what's so nice about a bomb arriving? You're not typical military guy. He said, no, this is not that bomb, this is the girl. So I said, oh, I thought Italians were different, but they're the same as India. So you see, the youth are the same everywhere. So let's have a lot of questions from you. And the whole purpose of coming together is to integrate with each other, sync with each other, and try and help each other to move forward. We try and learn from you, the Indian youth who are living in India, try and learn from you. And not just this meeting, which happens once in a year or once in 2 years. We need to establish connects with each other, which are through technology, so that this sort of learning and living together continues. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajvardhan. This particular session, engagement with younger members of the Indian Diaspora. Shall we continue in English or do you want it in Hindi? English? हाथ उठाइए जरा, हिंदी वाले, English वाले. Okay, they're equal numbers, we will continue in both. एक छोटी सी चीज बतानी है about this particular thing. In the intervening year, that is last year, we organized various discussions, and this was part of that discussion. Our panel, which is sitting here, after discussing, made a report and gave recommendations. Now, what Ganesh and Mule told you, question and answers, these are suggestions on the recommendations made. Otherwise, we'll carry on with question answers and it will never end. So, suggestions that you will see, which will be flashed, recommendations made by this panel, we would like to know from you if you want to add something to it. In this particular theme of engaging with the younger members. If you don't know the subject, there will be a problem. Okay. Engagement with the younger members of the Indian Diaspora. Right? So about this, if you have suggestions, one by one we will ask you, give us the suggestions. And unfortunately, your chair and co-chair are both from the army. We would proceed with certain army methodology, no long-winded speech, just come to the crux of the issue. Okay? Otherwise, we'll be circling the globe. So we will not circle the globe. We will be here taking your suggestions. Now with this, we'll start with the next.
Power, oil and natural gas, all these sectors, core sectors, are the sectors of opportunities. So whether you want to start up with a digital company, you want to work event management, India is the place to be. So I would urge all of you who are present here, young people, please study the government websites very carefully. They have all the opportunities listed there, and you will definitely take the decision coming back.
Thank you. I have one suggestion and one question. Firstly, I'll go for the suggestions. I am pursuing bachelor's in political science from Varanasi University, and what I want to say is that our curriculum and our course with international relations is very limited, and it is only based on stats and data, and we don't have any remarkable portion of the diaspora or the Indians living outside India. So my suggestion is that there should be a special curriculum in the graduation phase of these Indian students, that they should also have the study of the Indian diaspora and how they are important, because we are only limited till the India and foreign relations. We have no mention of the Indian diaspora. So this is my suggestion.
Thank you.
And my question.
Okay.
My question to all of the NRIs here, that if a person goes outside from India, he goes in the search of better economic condition. But as the Minister, Madam Sushma Swaraj said that we are going to become the youngest country with the youngest population, but we have the shortage of employment too, and that will lead to migration. So my question is, how can we enhance our skill development? Because the government has launched many programs for skill development, but how the common folk and common young can connect them and can create their skill development through their own. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody from the back row there, yes please.
Sir, I'm from, I study Political Science and International Relations Honours from Jadavpur University, West Bengal, and I'm also an alumni of Vision India Foundation. So, one suggestion that I would like to provide is that one thing that I noticed that most of the exchange programs, they are limited to academia or for executives and professionals. The area of public policy is not so much put importance upon when there is exchange program. So I would like to suggest that there are think tanks and organizations like Vision India Foundation which organizes public policy programs throughout the year. And I would like to suggest that the government should partner up with several think tank organizations around India and provide a platform for the non-residential Indians to engage in these public policy and governance programs in India, so that we can identify where in our country public policy is ahead or where we are lagging behind, and then they can bridge that gap between their situation and ours. So my suggestion is partnering up with these think tanks.
Thank you. Can I have an input from somebody who's based abroad, Indian Diaspora, young Indian Diaspora? I think you can go ahead, please. Mike.
From USA, and I was born and raised there. So I was wondering. So as someone who was born in the USA, I don't really know much about the Indian history. I don't know how to speak Hindi, and I don't really know much about that stuff, anyways. So I was wondering if there could be, like, as you know, there's Babbel, which teaches people other languages from all around the world, but there's no Hindi in Babbel. So I was wondering if there could be an app or something like that that could teach people Hindi and the history. I understand there are like classes that people can take to do that, but they aren't available for everyone all around the world. So just wondering that.
I'll take one more, maybe the fourth question. Right here.
Yeah, my name is Rakesh Sharma. I'm one of the 20% Indian doctors in the US. I've been there for 38 years. And I come from New York. I don't have any question, but I do have some suggestions. And I apologize that I'm talking in English. And the reason I'm doing it is that this is a forum where this is the only language we have been using. Just like this young man just said, that if you're born in another country, how do you keep learning a language that came from your parents? I have 3 boys born in US. They speak excellent Hindi. If they come to India, they won't have any problem communicating. But the problem in India is, in our own country, we think Hindi is inferior. If you want to show off to someone walking in the street, you must speak in English. If you go to a restaurant, and you talk in Hindi, everyone thinks that you perhaps didn't go to a college. The issue here is, all of us travel a lot, especially Indians who live in US. I was in Paris 3 months ago. Nobody speaks English in Paris unless you are at the airport, hotel, and some restaurants.
Dr. Saab, I'll have to interrupt. You know, I mean, if you can be specific about what can be done,
Absolutely.
We can take it on board.
Absolutely.
Just be very specific.
Yes.
The panel, they are waiting to answer your question, but be
Sure.
very specific.
Okay. Indian government has some responsibility to Indian diaspora, and that responsibility is to keep the language alive for people who live outside. And what they need to do is,
Yes.
no, 1 second, they need to invest some money outside, not just in places
I got
like
your
this.
point.
Thank you.
Before I pass it on to the panel, let me tell you, have you actually gone to our embassy in the US or the consulate and checked? No, just hold on, let me
I have to answer your question. You just cannot ask a question and not wait for the answer.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is that there are several embassies and consulates abroad who are supporting the Indian community organization when they are coming up for teaching a language. I can tell you that even if there is a community organization, you say that, look, I have 50 people, they all want to learn Hindi. I have identified a teacher, can you give us a venue? I think what I'm trying to tell you is that the suggestion sometimes has to also come from the diaspora that, look, this is what we have. Can we get some support from the embassy or the government of India?
Okay, I have just 2 minute answer. Number one, we as Indians in New York have opened up 6-7 centers on Long Island, which is a suburb of Manhattan, and we take on ourselves to teach Hindi to all the Indian kids born there without any help from Indian government. Number 2, let me make it very short. I'm also president of Indo-American festivals in New York, and we have been celebrating the Shara in New York 4 years in a row with real drama, and I'll show you the video.
Dr. Sir, we are very proud of you. Now we are going to the...
Not a single penny has come from Indian government to keep the Hindu culture alive outside India.
What do you... anyway,
what I'm asking is,
Dr.
if you are spending so much money...
Dr. Saab,
Sure.
ये डिस्कशन हम बाद में कर सकते हैं. ये आपकी जो व्यथा है वो मेरे से डिस्कस कर लीजिएगा. ठीक है. हर चीज सरकार नहीं करती है. हम अगर सब मिलकर करेंगे तो पूरा संसार बदल जाएगा.
Okay, I'd like to respond to that. So, similar to yourself, I'm a physician. और मेरे दादाजी 100 साल पहले निकले थे भारत से, तो मैं तीसरी पीढ़ी हूँ इंग्लैंड में. और जब हिंदी की बात आ रही है, I would actually like to congratulate this government because at the UN, Atal ji, Adarniya Modi ji, Sushma Swaraj ji, they all speak Hindi. And to be honest, there's no substitute for leading by example. Point number 1. Point number 2, there is a big onus on parents. I can tell you, we are talking about overseas diaspora here, but we're not talking about the elephant in the room. We are oversimplifying. There are 3 distinct categories of overseas diaspora: the new migrants, the generations between 1 and 3, and those who have been overseas for over 4 generations. Each of their requirements are very different. Each of those categories will be connected to Bharat in a very different manner. We cannot sit here, pump our initiative platform after platform and expect that automatically everything will fall into place. That is not realistic. मुझे इतनी डांट पड़ती थी घर पे अपने पापा से अगर मैं एक शब्द अंग्रेजी बोलूं, इतनी डांट पड़ती थी. And thankful to him, I now speak Hindi and I'm teaching it to my 3 boys who are 4th generation. They are not allowed to speak English at home. And Adarniya Rathore ji said this in his opening speech as well. The language is what connects us. Dono aani chahiye, ye to hai. Now, talking about those generations, there is a practical connect and there's an emotional connect. We have been focusing very much on the practical connect. What can the Sarkar do for us? Which programs are there? Which platforms are there? And I think one of the gentlemen from the US, the younger chap, thank you for raising that about language and heritage, because we must acknowledge those who are new migrants from India, they will not be inclined towards culture, heritage. As you have said, they are coming for pursuit of economic outcomes. But if you look at a lot of the panels here, we are secure economically, socially, politically. So we would want to connect via heritage, bhasha, kapde, khana, all of those things. And Rathore ji inaugurated the National Museum of Indian Cinema only a few days ago. See, the Indian cinema is such a unique situation in India, in Bharat, because we've got both music and acting industry into one, unlike Hollywood, where the music is separate and the movie business is separate. So answering your question, the government is already working. Look at the movies which are out. Bahubali, the empowerment of women, that is what our tradition advocates. In that movie, every woman was so strong. Think about it. Number 2, Uri. I mean, these are the realities of New India. That's why we are here. We don't want to waste your time. We are here to illustrate the new India and how we can be more proactive. As I said, not to just sit on our chair, make recommendations and go through the comfort of our houses in our countries. So we must also, we must be clear, are we talking about the practical connect or the emotional connect? Unless you work on the emotional connect, it's not going to work. There are people who are interested in Bharat and those who are not. And I can tell you overseas, there's a lot more people who are not interested in Bharat than those who are. And I'm talking about our generation here. So we must do both, emotional and practical.
If I may say something real quick, I'd like to respond. So as someone who was born and raised in the US, I just want to share my perspective. I agree with a lot of the comments made by Anolji, and I also just wanted to say, my parents came from Andhra Pradesh in 1988. My mom grew up in the north. I speak Hindi and Telugu. And I speak both languages because we can sit here and be prescriptive about what the government should or should not do. But the onus to carry these languages forward falls upon us, upon my parents, upon myself when I have children, on my grandfather who used to teach me how to read and write Telugu. And in the United States particularly, there's a rise in Tamil language schools. I would encourage you all to check out the California Tamil Academy. They are now operational in over 13 states. If we open these schools, if we invest the time and resources to train ourselves, to train our teachers, then we ourselves can be the trainers in our communities. Because the reality is that after I have children and my children have children, it is the connection becomes more tenuous. It's a lot harder to point fingers and say, you should have done this or you should have done that. The onus falls upon us. I also want to underscore another point made by Anilji about the power of Hindi cinema in Bollywood. I learned Hindi from the age of 4 because of Bollywood. And so we have the softer precepts available to us. It's not necessary that we have to constantly have someone externally bring that to us. We can seek it ourselves. We have a rich film industry. We have a Telugu film industry and a Tamil and Hindi film industry. We have dance. We have Carnatic music and Hindustani music. We have these precepts available to us, and it's up to us to take more of an active approach instead of a passive approach and make sure that we're doing what we can in our communities to continue this forward, especially being as far away as we are in the United States. Thanks.
Thank you, Vindya and Anil. Thank you all for participating in this very stimulating discussion. This doesn't mean the end. If you have something which you want to share, please do it through our embassies and consulates abroad. They do all the suggestions, they will come to us, and I think we will take a look at all of them.
Wherever you are, the Hindi languages, and therefore try and learn those words, and you'll stay connected. That's how I am learning English. I'm not so great in English, I'm still learning. So it's a continuous effort. A gentleman was talking about how he's doing a lot for Hindi, and he's not taking a penny, not a single penny has come from the government of India. I don't know whether he was complaining or he was proud of it. I think we ought to be proud of the fact that we are not taking anything from the government of India and still doing something for our country. That's what we all ought to do. There's a very small population of this country which is keeping this country strong by paying taxes and by thinking on behalf of the rest of the nation. And therefore we all ought to be proud that we are the people who take this country forward and strengthen it. So we don't need anything from the country and we will still do it. That is what is our strength. There's a difference between contribution and commitment. I'll give you an example. So in the morning when you have an egg on your plate, it's a contribution by the chicken to your health. But when the chicken itself is there on the plate, that's a commitment by the chicken. And I think we all need to commit to our country. Let's commit to making this nation strong, and we all can do it. If this is India's time. I simply said this is India's time in this world. The next century belongs to our country, and therefore it belongs to all of you. One more appeal and one more request. That is when Indian teams travel abroad, they are always looking for Indian khana, Indian people to say hello to ask basic questions. कि SIM कौन सा चलता है यहाँ पर, कौन सी telecom service लेनी चाहिए. I think we could also, and this Prime Minister also wanted that we create groups, perhaps in each city, in each state, wherever you are, and wherever the Indian teams go, we could connect with all of you so that you are there to say hello to the Indian team players. And don't visualize Virat Kohli there. There might be a person like me there, so don't. So thank you so much, and you know, it's been great interaction.
सबसे पहले तो जो हमारा पैनल है, they took out number of recommendations which were put out. If you take your mind back, the first one was language, and सिर्फ एक ही चीज मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स सिर्फ हिंदी के ऊपर कंसंट्रेट नहीं कर रही है, वी आर कंसंट्रेटिंग ऑन इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस. वी आर ट्राइंग टू प्रमोट ईच एंड एवरी लैंग्वेज ऑफ इंडिया. And from personal example which Rajvardhan would share with me, in India itself there are so many languages, and we as Fauji's, when we go to various places, you pick up that language. To my Tamil friends I can say Saukema, Dalla. To my Malayali friends I can say Priyapat Sahodri Sahodra. My friend from Punjab is there. I can speak to him in Punjabi. It is up to you. आपके ऊपर है. आप क्या सीखना चाहते हैं? And Hindi and Indian languages are all very scientific. They are available. There are many apps which are available. And if I was in your place, I would be ashamed to ask the government कि मुझे हिंदी पढ़ाने के लिए पैसे दें. एक और प्रोफेशन मिल रहा है, आप हिंदी पढ़ाओ, earn your money, I'm sure people will pay for it. There is
मुझे नहीं रिया, ठंडा ही मिल रही है.
मजा है. थैंक यू. आप लोकल हैं?
हाँ फ्रॉम बनारस.
अब बनारस के बारे में हमको बता सकते हैं?
हाँ बताइए.
यहाँ पे बनारस सिल्क जो साड़ी रहती है, जेन्युइन कहाँ पे मिलेगी?
जेन्युइन
थोड़ा थोड़ा स्वाद मिल रहा है, तड़का मिल रहा है भारत के उत्तर प्रदेश की. दाल पीठी, दाल बड़ी, गुलकंद की खीर.
स्पेशल तो शाही गुलकंद का खीर है.
अच्छा, गुलकंद की खीर है.
स्पेशल शाही गुलकंद का खीर.
अच्छा.
और ये मेरा स्पेशल गांव का गोईठा जो बनारस वासियों को.
गांव का गोईठा.
यस.
अरे वाह, आप शेफ हैं?
जी.
अच्छा, यही काम करते हैं?
यस.
क्या हुआ? पेपर का सही हुआ है? क्या हुआ?
स्वाद उत्तर प्रदेश का चाय, मक्खन की इमरती या पान मिल रहा है. स्वाद उत्तर प्रदेश का मीठा पान. बनारस की शान, बनारस की जान, बनारसी पान.
सर
पान कैसे स्वाद करा रहे हैं या खिला रहे हैं?
जी.
मीठा पान खाते हैं.
मीठा पान देखिए क्या बढ़िया पान है. वाह वाह. और ये खा रहे हैं हम
मीठा पान. बनारस का फेमस है.
150 खाने का इंतजाम. बालूशाही, गुलाब जामुन, रोटी. उसके बाद आप देख कुछ मंचूरियन, आलू, परवल और साथ में है कटहल आलू की सब्जी.